It's a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Hello and welcome to the final day of your work week. This is September 11th, 2020. I'm Eric Granstrom filling in for Dan Kuntz here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley again here this morning. We have your latest local news coming up. We'll check the world of sports. We'll see what's in store for us weather-wise with a hazardous air outlook for the next several days. Yeah, the smoke we were hoping was going to go away, unfortunately, is going to hang around. In fact, we're going to get added to it. We'll tell you more about that with your forecast coming up. Of course, today also is a milestone. It was 19 years ago today that America was attacked in the 9/11 attacks, the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center, on the Pentagon, and in a plane that went down in a field in Pennsylvania. We will mark this day, both in fact as far as the history of that attack in our newscast coming up, but also for me personally, a celebration today. We'll find out more about that coming up a little bit later on here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thank you very much for taking part of your day and making us a part of it here this morning. Let's take a look around the valley as we start out this Friday. Another hazy day for the Wenatchee Valley and north central Washington as we check our Sky-Fi wireless cameras around north central Washington, thanks to LocalTel's Sky-Fi wireless network. And of course, we start things off with a look down on the Wenatchee Valley. We can see a little bit more of the valley this morning, but yes, the haze continues, and the National Weather Service saying that the winds are going to shift a little bit today out of the west and northwest. However, that's going to bring more smoke. I'll talk more about that coming up. So good morning, Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, and to anyone who might be within this camera view, and a happy finally Friday. Let's see what's in store for us on camera 2 as we look down upon, boy, you got me here, Megan. Oh, Chelan. Okay, yeah, we're looking. Everything looks different with the smoke and the haze as we look towards the city of Chelan this morning, and boy, you can just barely make out in the right corner there, the downtown area of Lake Chelan. Is that our Bear Mountain camera? Which camera is that? Oh, the Lower Butte. Okay. So looking at that from the South Shore this morning, it looks like a fairly calm morning on Lake Chelan. And, Megan and I were talking about this before we got on the air today. We've been really lucky here the last summer plus on the smoke. So, it was bound to happen, and here we go. A little late this year, but smoky skies here in north central Washington. That is camera 2. To camera 3, we will go and say hello to Rock Island. Yeah, see a little bit clearer view from Rock Island this morning. If you want to get a fresh breath of air, maybe head down Highway 28 and suck it in. Look at the ponds in Rock Island this morning, and the golf course in the foreground there towards the bottom left. And I don't see many carts going around there this morning. A lot of folks having to stay indoors if they have any kind of ailments as far as lungs or asthma or things like that because of the smoke. Hopefully there's going to be some folks out there not hollering 4, but maybe hollering hole in 1 on the Rock Island links this morning. All right, to camera 4 we go. And a look, of course, up, and it's been a while since we've been able to really see much at all up in the Okanagan area. This is our look off of Billy Goat down to Pateros and the upper Columbia River. Of course, our hearts and prayers go out to everybody involved in the fires burning in the Bridgeport area. A lot of that smoke you see on the horizon there is from the fires that are burning in Douglas County and Okanagan County. We're going to have some smoke blown in from California, believe it or not. So yeah, the smoke's not going to go away anytime soon. An update on the news coming up as far as those fires are concerned here in north central Washington. We'll get to that in just a few moments. Again, thanks to Sky-Fi Wireless Network for providing our Valley View look around the north central Washington area this morning. As far as forecast is concerned, let's get a look at that from Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Yeah, hazy skies continues, and we were hoping for the wind to change. It will from the northwest, only about 6 miles an hour this morning. Otherwise, hazy. And in fact, the National Weather Service says a high pressure system that's been lingering off the Washington, Oregon, California coast, that's been kind of keeping the smoke off of the fires in California and Oregon away from us. It's been sitting out over the Pacific. Now with the winds shifting and this overall system here in the Pacific Northwest, as you see that cloudiness and maybe some rain moving in on Monday and Tuesday, that means the airflow is going to start to shift off of the coast and come inland. Unfortunately for us, that means it's going to bring the smoke from Oregon and California into our neck of the woods. So if you have any ailments that are impacted by the smoke, unfortunately, you're going to have to hunker down for a few more days. Sunny, hazy today, 93 are expected high for Wenatchee. Tonight, we'll see chilly conditions, 54 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, another sunny and hazy day for our Saturday, 95 the expected high. By the way, we're tickling with the record temperature range. Record for today, 94, set in 1973, 44 the record low in 1983. Our high yesterday for Wenatchee was 83 degrees, the low 53. The normal for this time of year, 79 for the high and 54 for the low. So you see we're, still quite a bit warmer than normal for this time of year. The sun rose this morning at 6:34. Not that you could see much of it with the smoke. Sun will set tonight at 7:20 here for north central Washington. Currently, we are under the hazy skies and a 57-degree start up at the airport here in the Wenatchee Valley. It is 6 minutes past the hour. We have a lot of news to get to, including an update on the fires. And of course, today is 19 years past the day that changed America forever, the day that we will all remember as 9/11. We'll have more on that coming up next here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for a Finally Friday.
Pybus Public Market's motto is where community meets. Whether it's people, enjoying an event, or they meet a colleague for coffee and whip out their laptop and are able to actually do work here, having quick and reliable Wi-Fi is one of the things that makes Pybus such a great community hub. It just contributes to the welcoming place that we want Pybus to be. I'm Allie, and fiber keeps people connected, and that's what Pybus Market is all about.
Hi, my name is Manuel Navarro, Chief Operating Officer at Columbia Valley Community Health. Patient safety is our top priority, including providing care that just can't wait. With enhanced safety precautions, we want to ensure you that we're able to continue providing safe and efficient in-person care at our clinic. From in-car check-in, ongoing screening, immediate rooming, your family can get the safe care that they deserve here at Columbia Valley Community Health.
8 minutes past the hour here for a Finally Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. In for Dan Kuntz, I'm Eric Granstrom. Another hazy start with smoke in the valley. Otherwise sunny skies expected 94. Our high today, we're at 57 in downtown Wenatchee. As we check the latest local news this morning, Governor Jay Inslee yesterday expressed sympathy at the death of a toddler in the Cold Springs fire in Okanagan County. 1-year-old Yuri Highland of Renton was found dead Wednesday, 3 days after he and his parents were overtaken by the fire while camping on family property 15 miles east of Brewster. His parents, 31-year-old Jacob Highland and 26-year-old Jamie Highland, suffered serious burns and are still being treated at Harborview Medical Center. In a statement, the governor said, quote, "This child's family and community will never be the same, and neither will countless others who are reeling from the utter devastation these wildfires are leaving in their wake. I send my deepest condolences to the family and friends of this child and am keeping their parents in my mind as they work towards recovery in intensive care," end quote. Well, here's an update now on the fires burning in our area. The Pearl Hill fire burning in Douglas County showed little growth overnight Wednesday as several evacuation levels were lowered and some roads were at least partially reopened. The fire, which was sparked Monday by the Cold Springs fire in Okanagan County, is listed at 41% containment after burning more than 177,000 acres and at least 17 homes. Mansfield has gone from level 3 evacuation notices to level 2. In addition, power has been restored to Bridgeport, where numerous structures were destroyed by the fire. Evacuation notices for McNeil Canyon Road from the top of to Beebe Bridge were reduced to level 2, and Bridgeport Hill Road has been reopened to local traffic only. Meanwhile, the Cold Springs fire is listed at 10% containment as fire crews in Okanagan County reported good progress Wednesday and overnight. Firefighters are focusing on containment lines, especially in the Haley Creek area where the fire is most active. The fire, which started Sunday night, has burned 172,000 acres and destroyed several structures. Fire managers said additional resources, including more aircraft, have arrived to help crews on the ground. The Apple Acres fire burning near Chelan is at 45% containment, and several evacuation notices have been reduced as the fire showed minimal growth in the past 24 hours. Well, a 59-year-old Othello man died Wednesday night after a vehicle collision on Highway 28 between Quincy and Ephrata. The Washington State Patrol says Tito Mendez failed to yield the right-of-way around 7 o'clock that night when he pulled his 2002 Nissan Maxima from Road K Northwest into the path of an eastbound Ford F-150 pickup. The pickup was being driven by 45-year-old Simon Mendoza of Ephrata, who was treated for minor injuries at the scene. Mendez was transported to Quincy Valley Medical Center, where he died. A Yakima man was arrested Wednesday in Okanagan after allegedly attempting to kidnap a barista during a robbery. The Okanagan County Sheriff's Office said at 3:10 in the afternoon, 29-year-old Stephen Mejia entered the Freebird coffee stand on North 2nd Avenue, first asking for water, then saying it was a robbery. The 17-year-old female barista reportedly hid in the bathroom before being dragged out by Mejia. By the time deputies, Omak Police, and the Washington State Patrol responded to the robbery report, Mejia had fled. But the sheriff's office said it took just 4 minutes before he was found in an alley behind the Okanagan Post Office. He was booked into the Okanagan County Jail awaiting charges for robbery and attempted kidnapping. A Chelan County man in his 60s is the latest victim of COVID-19. Chelan Douglas Health District reports it's the 19th known death from the coronavirus in the two-county region since the pandemic reached Washington earlier this year. So far, 12 Chelan County residents are known to have died from the virus and 7 people from Douglas County. Health officials continue to encourage wearing facial masks and maintaining 6 feet of social distance in public. The pandemic has so far claimed more than 1,900 lives in Washington and 191,000 nationwide. 12 minutes past the hour as news continues here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Total home sales in the Wenatchee housing market were way up in August compared to the same time last year. According to Pacific Appraisal Associates, total home sales in the Wenatchee market were up 27%, or 333 homes sold last month compared to 95 in August of 2019. Closed home sales are also up year to date, and pending transactions stand at 183 compared to 76 a year ago. On the downside of the report, year-to-date listings are down by 4%, and active home listings are way down from 141 in August of 2019 to 73 this year, a 48% drop. As is still the trend, median sale prices of a home in the Wenatchee Valley also up 4% from $345,000 in last August to $359,800 last month. Well, the Wenatchee Valley's largest fruit and produce company has a new chief financial officer. Christian Wolf will take over as CFO for Milk Growers, replacing retired executive David Milheiser. Wolf, who was born in Argentina, was previously an executive with professional services company Accenture for 32 years. He calls the new CFO assignment, quote, an exciting new career chapter and challenge. Well, it was 19 years ago today that terrorists flew passenger planes into the Twin Towers in New York, the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and a field in Pennsylvania. The Spirit of America Memorial in Kashmir each September holds a ceremony commemorating those lost in those attacks. Unable to hold the ceremony this year because of COVID-19 restrictions, Vortex Productions created a video on how the Spirit of America came to be and its dedication to the memories of all involved.
I went back when they opened the memorial, or the footprint memorials as they're called. And I went back as a chaplain. And again, the routine was simple. To all other people that I came in contact with, I just asked, who are you here for? And it was a 16-year-old young woman who was tracing her mother's name on the plaque. She was 6 years old when her mother died. A firefighter and a cop came up to me and said, individually, I'm here for my partner who was younger and faster. And that's all they needed to say. The wounds are still there, especially on this day. They're the wounds of the loss for those who were directly impacted by the deaths of friends and family members.
It just warms my heart to see how many people are never going to forget that you guys keep coming out and keep supporting this project, but also celebrate and honor those that perished. This place that we can come, this hallowed ground, that we can come and honor at any time. Those that we lost, that we cared about.
There should not be any distance so great that determines where a memorial should be built. Ours was so peaceful, no one else was around. My kids and I read each and every plaque together. Your memorial by far is the most beautiful I have ever seen. Memorials do not compete with each other for a prize, but stand ready to inspire and reflect. Our ability and our need to reach out to younger generations to inspire a little bit more unity in the future with this memorial over time. That should be our additional mission.
Thanks to Vortex Productions for putting that together. Yeah, even though there will not be a ceremony today at 11 o'clock, that park is still an open park in Kashmir. And if you have not seen the memorial, I highly encourage you to do so. And maybe even today, keep your social distancing, of course. But shall we never forget what happened on this day 19 years ago. It is 18 minutes past the hour. We will take a brief break here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Sports news coming your way next. Hazy skies in the forecast. We also have 57 degrees to start our day, looking at 94 for the expected high. Don't forget, more news coming up tonight here on the NCW Life channel. Jefferson Robbins will have the anchor chair. And did we get a preview for tonight, Megan? Okay, we do. Okay, well, we'll get a little preview of what's coming up tonight on the evening news here on the NCW Life channel.
Good morning, Eric. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, it was 19 years ago today that terrorists flew passenger planes into the Twin Towers in New York, the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and a field in Pennsylvania. Tonight, we'll bring you a video of how the spirit of America came to be. And Eric, you'll be doing double duty tonight with a look at weather and, of course, all things sports, including a preview of the races this weekend at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. That and much more with Jefferson Robbins coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Eric?
Thank you much, Grant. If you have something for us that we should know about in the newsroom, you have several ways to get a hold of us. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com. You can also head to our website and just click on the top and contact, and you'll be able to follow along to get our attention through the website at ncwlife.com. You can also message us directly on our Facebook page. We hope you like and follow us while you're there. You can also call the newsroom and leave us a tip at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. A brief break. Sports news comes your way next here for a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Stay right there. Join NCW Life Channel for another night of racing Saturday at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval. It's the Jerry Berschauer Memorial 100, sponsored by Jerry's Auto Supply. A huge field of pro late models will be on hand. In addition, there's the Shepherd's Oil Wenatchee Legends Cup for Tri-State Legends, Mountain Dew Junior Late Models, Bandoleros, and Plum Perfect Roadrunners. Join Grant Olson and Greg Rentz live on Facebook at 5:30 and on TV at 6 on NCW Life Channel, your local TV station.
How do you know when it's time to go to Boswell's Furniture? When you know the look you love, the colors you want, but need a little design help to bring it all together. With Boswell's complimentary design service, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa guide you until your vision becomes reality. More styles, more fabrics, and more choices of quality home furnishings fill Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom so you can see it and feel it before you buy. Come into Boswell's and explore the endless possibilities of home furnishings. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
21 minutes past the hour here for a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. In for Dan Kuntz, I'm Eric Granstrom. Thank you for joining us. Hazy skies in the Wenatchee Valley, 57 degrees up at the airport, reaching for a high of 93, 94. If we get up there, that's going to be near record high temperatures. Time for sports here on a Friday. Well, at last check, the cart count was 82 and growing for the race tomorrow at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval. Track manager Jeremy Anders says this is the largest field they've ever had for a pro late model race at the track, with 31 entries so far for the the Jerry Berschauer Memorial 100. Then you have 20 cars for the Shepherd's Oil Wenatchee Legends race and the Tri-State Legends. 15 Plum Perfect Roadrunners, which you see there, and hopefully there's not a lot of that going on Saturday. 11 Bandoleros, these are the youngsters in these souped-up go-karts. Huge field expected this weekend. Also 5 Mountain Dew Junior late models with 2 ladies involved there. It's going to be an epic night of racing for sure. Now, in addition, only 7 points separates the Quincy brothers Glenn and Michael Knutson for the Pro Late Model Track Championship. Evan Getz leads the Junior Late Model points race by 10 points over both Haley Constance and Cade Moran. And the Bandolero title will be determined this weekend, as well as Jordan Mullins is only 1 point ahead of Allie Mae Jones and 2 points in front of Cannon DeLong heading into the weekend. By the way, we will be joined by Jeremy Anders a little bit later on this morning to give us a complete preview of the race this weekend at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. We'll begin our coverage live on Facebook at 5:30 tomorrow, live here on television starting at 6 o'clock. Again, Jeremy Anders will be in studio to join us a little bit later on here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Well, this NFL season kicked off in Kansas City last night, where the Chiefs began defense of their Super Bowl title, downing Houston 34-20. The final last night, Patrick Mahomes threw for 211 yards and 3 touchdowns, while rookie running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire rushed for 138 yards and a score. Kansas City's defense sacked Deshaun Watson 4 times in that game. Well, there's been a big social media push in the offseason to let Russell Wilson loose and open up the Seahawks offense more. While offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer wouldn't go so far as to say he'll do that, he certainly does have a lot of confidence in Wilson's ability to move the ball.
We're excited. Obviously, Russ is just such a great player when you give him the compliments that he has, and you add a guy like Greg Olsen, who's a veteran in a weird year, right? We all know this is a unique year. A veteran guy like that gets it. You can get ready to play. You can feel good about your plan and the understanding of what we're trying to do. DK's been outstanding. We're just expecting huge things from him this year. Year 2, work ethic like none other. I mean, he's just a special talent, just working like crazy. Of course, Russ and Tyler, it's not going to take them very long. And, getting Phil Dorsett has been great for us as well. Another speed element, a guy that can really run. And you go on and on. I mean, you look at the rest of the tight ends, playing all those guys, Dis and Hollister, and then Demo, things that Demo can do. We're really, really excited. And, again, we feel like, teams will have a plan of trying to stop certain guys, and we feel like we have plenty of people that can create matchups for us.
Now, Wilson says working with Schottenheimer over the past 3 years has been great, but it will be a team effort that will make the difference on the field.
Shotty and I built a great relationship. I think he's one of the best coaches in the game. I really do. I think how he coaches the game, how he teaches the players. He really teaches us how, the whys of football, why we're doing this. So from not just the quarterbacks, but the receivers and the tight ends, and he really runs the show up there when he's up in the meetings and stuff like that. So we learn a lot about the game. For me, with Shotty and Austin, even Austin Davis, being we spend a lot of time in the room. Dave Canals, we spend a lot of time together too as well, and so I think with Shotty, I think more than anything else is we've built that rapport, we've built that relationship. We've played a lot of great football over the past 2 years, and this third year we're looking for even more and doing even better and better than ever. And so hopefully we can do that. I'm excited about that. I think more than anything else, I think it's us up to us as players too as well. Setting the tone from game one and what we want to look like, how we want to play, and playing great football on first and second down, third down, and in the red zone, and score as many points as we can. I know if anything, Shadi wants to score a bunch of points, so hopefully we can do that.
There will be no fans in the stadium Sunday for the opener in Atlanta, which KJ Wright says will be a little strange, but he says he's just excited to play some football.
Every time you step into a new season, it's like, okay, a new year, new journey, got 16 games, and so the grind is on the way, but I'm just excited to be out there with my teammates. We know what's at stake with no fans and all that good stuff, so thankfully we got that out the way. Playing in CenturyLink, that was a interesting experience going out there with no fans, and so I'm glad we got out the way, and so we can go out there to Atlanta and everything should be just fine.
Atlanta quarterback Matt Ryan has proven over the years that if you give him time, he'll pick a defense apart. Put pressure on him, and he tends to fade. Bruce Irvin is tired of hearing about what the Seahawks defense can't do and is ready to start proving others wrong.
I think we got a bunch of guys who's willing to work. Let Twitter tell it, and I know you guys wouldn't talk bad about it, so I'm going to say, let the other media tell it. We in big trouble because we don't got a so-called big name. But at the end of the day, man, it's about guys willing to work. And these guys who we got, we're a young group, but these guys have gotten better each and every day. And I'm really excited for us Sunday to go out here and prove the other people wrong, but prove ourselves right. So, I have the utmost confidence in myself and these guys, and I think we're really going to prove people wrong this year.
Seahawks and Falcons kick off on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. You can watch the game on Fox. Well, the Mariners are in Arizona to begin a 3-game weekend series with the Diamondbacks. Yusei Kikuchi will get the start tonight as he'll try to improve on his 2-2 record. Caleb Smith will get the ball for Arizona. First pitch tonight at 6:40 at Chase Field in Phoenix. You can be seen on Root Sports or heard in the Wenatchee Valley on ESPN Radio AM 900. There's some action in the American League West last night, so let's open up the Les Schwab scoreboard, shall we? Sean Manaea pitched 7 strong innings of 1-run ball while striking out 4 to lead Oakland past Houston 3-1. Matt Olson had the big hit for the A's with a 2-run homer in the 6th, his 12th of the season. Mike Trout hit his 16th homer of the season to lead Los Angeles to a 6-2 win over Texas. Oakland's lead in the West is now 6.5 games over Houston, with just 18 games left to go in the shortened 60-game schedule. That's sports news at 28 minutes past the hour. Again, we'll be joined by Jeremy Anders, the track manager for Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval. That'll be coming up the last half of the program here this morning for this 11th of September. Yes, 9/11. 2020. There are a lot of things that we could talk about today, and we will. Of course, today is the Patriot Day and National Day of Remembrance. Also, today is Stand Up to Cancer Day. Today is National Make Your Bed Day, which actually should be every day. I mean, come on. Make your bed. At least you did one thing. You start the day, you got one thing accomplished, no matter what happens for the rest of the day. Make your bed. But I chose for our obscure holiday today as National Hot Cross Buns Day. Now, I've heard about the hot cross buns. I've never seen one in person. I've never tasted one. But the name of the baked good references the cross, yes. To make the cross, bakers use a doughy paste baked into the bread. Sometimes they'll add icing. Hot cross buns traditionally eaten during Lent in many historically Christian countries. Lent begins with the evening before Ash Wednesday through Good Friday, and a cross, symbol of the crucifixion, of course. Now, there are some superstitions about the hot cross buns. Buns baked and served on Good Friday will not spoil or mold through the subsequent year. That's one fable. Also, medicinal uses. A piece is of it given to someone ill will help them recover. Not a good use for hot cross buns. Sharing a hot cross bun with another ensures friendship throughout the coming year. You give them a piece, you take yourself a piece, and the friendship will last. A kiss. Some people believe because there is a cross on the bun, they should kiss the bun before eating it. Why does Everybody Love Raymond come to mind with his brother that touches his chin before he takes a bite? Sailors hope when taking a long sea voyage, a hot cross bun supposedly would protect the sailor as they head across the seas. Home protection, too. One tradition says a hot cross bun hung in the kitchen protects against fires. It also ensures all bread turns out perfectly. Well, I don't know if any of those superstitions are real or not, but today is National Hot Cross Bun Day. By the way, there's a lot of people that put raisins in this bun. If you choose to share a hot cross bun with me, or you want to bake one, skip the raisins, please. In my estimation, a raisin is a waste of a good grape. Not a fan of the raisins. Today is September 11th. There were some things that happened on this day in history other than what happened 19 years ago. 1814, during the Battle of Plattsburgh on Lake Champlain, a newly built U.S. fleet under Master Commandant Thomas MacDonough destroys a British squadron, forcing the British to abandon their siege of the U.S. fort that is, at Plattsburgh, and retreat to Canada on foot. The American victory saved New York from possible invasion and helped lead to the conclusion of peace negotiations between Britain and the United States. Huge victory for the U.S. in 1814. 1987, Fatal Attraction. Movie about a married man who had a fling with a woman that becomes obsessed with him and stalks his family, kills the family bunny. Yes. Oh, terrifying movie. Came out on this date in 1987, starring Michael Douglas and Glenn Close. Box office hit, garnered 6 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actress. Of course, we have to talk about what happened on this day 19 years ago. America came under attack when terrorists hijacked 4 planes and flew 2 into the World Trade Center, another into the Pentagon, and a 4th intended for the White House before it was forced down on a Pennsylvania field by several of its passengers. The Associated Press has a look back on this day, September 11th, 2001.
Boom! There was a loud crashing sound, and then there was a pause for about a split second, and then there was like a scream or two, and then everyone just ran. Everybody. There was mass chaos.
The smoke, the black smoke and fire.
Hijacked, and there are indications that it may have been a Boeing 767 out of Boston.
Just like a train rumbling for maybe like 35 seconds, and then there was like this pause, and then boom, hit with all the dust, and it was black. I mean, pitch black. I don't know if anybody could have survived being on the street at that time.
Right there. Right there.
You can see the black smoke billowing out of the side of the Pentagon. It continues to billow out and cover much of the skyline here along the area, drifting along the Potomac River, casting a haze all over the Pentagon area.
It didn't look like there was a plane at all. It was just obliterated when it hit the ground.
He told me he was putting a plan together that he and others were going to take back the airplane. And he said, you know, Dina, I think we can do it. It's up to us.
And we will strive now very hard to save as many people as possible and to send a message that the city of New York and the United States of America is much stronger than any group of barbaric terrorists.
All of the suspects right now that I know that the U.S. is looking at are in the Middle East. And frankly, we have to put Osama bin Laden at the top of the list.
We will make no distinction between the terrorists who committed these acts and those who harbored them.
We've got to do something now and do it immediately. I mean, we're entitled to some semblance of security, some semblance of rationality, and I think that all died in New York. I've been in the city for years, and I've never heard it as silent and as sad as I've heard it tonight. This city is in shock, and unless you're here tonight, you don't quite comprehend it.
September 11th, 2001. I was on the radio here in Wenatchee with my partner Steve Hare at the time. We were just getting ready to start our program on that sunny Tuesday morning here in North Central Washington. Walking in the hallway outside of our studio, I heard our station on Quincy in the hallway that the news was on at the top of the hour, and could hear something about a plane crash in the World Trade Center. And at the time, when it first was reported, it was reported as maybe a commuter plane or a small private plane, something like that. And then, of course, as the morning would unfold, it would be, for those of us in the broadcast industry, the longest day of our lives. Now, for me personally, it was an especially difficult day because I was tasked with trying to make sense of it all and stayed on the air for hours on end on the radio on that day, a day which I was very proud to have the group that we had assembled at KPQ back in the day with Steve Hare and company to be able to cover what was happening on that day, as well as what unfolded over the next several days, weeks, months, and years since. But that day was also supposed to be the day that we were going to celebrate the third birthday of my daughter, Gracelyn Jeanette Granstrom. So it's with mixed emotions that we go on with September 11th. Of course, a lot of folks will remember this day as a day of tragedy. I, however, will remember this day as one of the best days of my life as we turn to birthdays. Happy birthday to my daughter, Gracie, who is 22 years old today. Gracie came to us at 9:24 in the morning, and the nurses in the operating room singing happy birthday as we didn't know what Gracie was going to be. We didn't know if it was going to be a boy or a girl. So we had two names picked out. Gracelyn was the name we had picked for the girl. And as we told the doctors and the nurses in the operating room that her name would be Gracelyn, they asked us if we were Elvis fans. No, not Graceland, Gracelyn. So the best day of my life is when that 9-pound, 3-ounce, 21.5-inch bundle of joy entered my world. And so forever 9/11 to me will be a celebration of the birth of my daughter, Gracie. Happy birthday, Gracie. Also celebrating birthdays today, Harry Connick Jr. is 53 today, American singer, musician, actor who sold over 28 million albums worldwide. You know, it was interesting when I was thinking about Harry Connick Jr. last night. I was thinking, okay, think of his music and what genre is it? Honestly, I was like, pop? No. Jazz, actually. That's what he prefers to be known as a jazz musician. 16 million certified sales for Harry Connick Jr. Also, the man that was born on this date that we celebrate in 1924, Tom Landry, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, regarded as one of the greatest and most innovative coaches in NFL history, created many new formations and methods, such as the 4-3 defense. In his 29 years as coach of one team, the Dallas Cowboys, an NFL record along with his 20 consecutive winning seasons. He won 2 Super Bowls. He died of leukemia at the age of 75 in 2000. Tom Landry, born on this date in 1924. We're going to take a break, come back here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We've got Jeremy Anders standing by to tell us about what's happening at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval coming up this weekend. Also, Mike Magnotti with his opinion. It's on your way next here on a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
From the ocean to the mountains to the forest in between, vacation time can be a fun time. But not if your car breaks down. Call Global Car Care today. Have a service approved over $150 on your vehicle, and Global Car Care will donate an oil change service to one of our local heroes at Confluence Health. Look for more incentives online. Global Car Care cares about their community.
If fishing is your dream, make your dream a reality with a Smokercraft boat from Bobfile Boats and Motors. It's not just about catching fish, it's about making memories. See a Smokercraft boat today at Bobfile Boats and Motors. They also have a great line of pontoon boats big enough for fishing for the whole family. Find Bobfile Boats and Motors online at bobfile.com or on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee.
Bobfile Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bobfile's gonna make you smile. So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
What is it to be a volunteer firefighter? Is it the gear, the training, the vehicles you'll learn to drive, the honor of protecting your community? Time, energy, sweat, sometimes blood and even tears. Every call may not be a victory. Sometimes you'll walk away wondering if you helped at all. But sometimes you will be a hero.
The Meat Shop in Chelan has all the meats, homemade side dishes, sauces, and rubs you need for a summer feast. The Meat Shop opens 6 days a week to serve you in downtown Chelan.
More than a health food store, it's your good food store. Bear Foods and Cafe Creperie, a feast for the eyes and the palate.
For the Chelan Valley's most unique tasting experience, visit One Wines, a true boutique winery producing only one white, one rosé, and one red with a rare exceptional vintage. Limited to 800 cases per year. Visit One Wines today.
Wenatchee Power Sports not only has a new owner, but an all-new attitude to match. Speaking of attitude, check out the 2021 models arriving now. Polaris snowmobiles, ATVs and side-by-sides. Yamaha motorcycles, watercraft ATVs and side-by-sides. KTM motorcycles and the latest edition Beta high-performance motorcycles. Coming this fall, a huge demo event featuring the latest and hottest off-road machines. It's all at the retuned Wenatchee Power Sports, where maximum performance is a way of life. 3031 GS Center Road in North Wenatchee, open Tuesday through Saturday.
Hey, this is Mike, Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, someone once said to me, the reason they had a problem with gay people is that I don't agree with the gay lifestyle. Okay, well, my question is, what is the gay lifestyle, and how do we determine who demonstrates it? Now, I'm a monogamous, heterosexual male, and of the gay people I know, their lifestyle isn't any different than mine. And for that matter, what is the heterosexual lifestyle? The life I lead? Or do we say the straight life is demonstrated by somebody like Hugh Hefner, that gal with the really big butt? What's her name? Kim, what's her name? Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. From what I can see, the lifestyle of the gay people I know is as normal and as mundane as mine. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
Doghouse Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 7th year in a row. Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tamer.
I'm Mike. And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Doghouse Service Team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the Doghouse.
Are you in the doghouse?
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Hi, my name is Manuel Navarro, Chief Operating Officer at Columbia Valley Community Health. Patient safety is our top priority, including providing care that just can't wait. With enhanced safety precautions, we want to ensure you that we're able to continue providing safe and efficient in-person care at our clinic. From in-car check-in, ongoing screening, immediate rooming, your family can get the safe care that they deserve here at Columbia Valley Community Health.
45 minutes past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for this final Friday, the 11th of September, 2020. And filling in for Dan Kuntz, I'm Eric Granstrom. 94 expected high for Wenatchee today, 57 currently under hazy skies downtown. And we welcome in Jeremy Anders, who's the track manager at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. Big race coming up this weekend, the Jerry Berschauer Memorial 100. And it's not just for pro late models. It is going to be an epic weekend of racing, and we've got it covered for you here live on the NCW Life channel tomorrow night. We'll go live at 5:30 with the Facebook feed, and then 6 o'clock with our television coverage. And Jeremy, is this the biggest field we've ever had for pro late models?
It is the biggest field for pro late models, yes. One of the biggest fields of late models we've had since probably early 2000s. So we're really excited for it. We have a huge field of pro late models, 35 plus cars for sure for that division. Plus we have the legend cars, and we're looking somewhere close to, it looks about probably 24 or 25 cars there, close to 20 road runners, big field of bandoleros as well. So the pits are going to be full but spaced out in a sense as well. So it should be a great weekend.
It's been a challenging year at WVSO, obviously, well, for all of us, as a matter of fact, with COVID-19 going on, and the fact that no fans have been able to attend the races. Thankfully, we were able to work out a deal between the Super Oval and us here at the NCW Live channel as far as being able to cover the races, and 2 more to go, including the one this weekend. Now, Jerry Berschauer, tell me about his history with Super Oval and racing here in the Wenatchee Valley, and why this race is named after him.
Jerry Berschauer, founder of Jerry's Auto Supply, which has been a supporter or sponsor of the racetrack for all 50 years. So we've had this going on for, this relationship for 50 years with the family. Jerry was he was a racing enthusiast, actually was a drag racer for a long time. Loved to go on the straight cars. They had the parts store, supported a lot of racers, whether it sponsored the track or sponsored cars. Jerry actually tried for a little bit and went oval track racing for himself for a few years back in the 70s. And then actually for a few years was a promoter and owner of the racetrack back in the mid-70s. So he had a really strong part of it, off the track, on the track. And like we said, 50 years of the relationship, the Berschauer family with Ron Berschauer and Krista Beck taking over Jerry's Auto Supply. There's just a great relationship we've had. I mean, it's our longest partnership we have of any of our sponsors. And so we started this race about 4 years ago, and 2 years ago when I took over, I said, I wanted to turn this into a big major event. And last year it was a big event. We had close to 24, 25 cars, and we paid a little bigger purse. This year we're paying a bigger purse as well, and we have a great support from Plum Perfect, North Valley Mechanical, and Knutson General Contracting to help support that purse, because we're not able to pay our normal purses with all the COVID-19 restrictions. So we didn't think we were going to have a big race. And then we made a couple of calls to sponsors. They said, no, we're going to have a big race. So they've stepped up big time to help support that, along with Jerry's Auto Supply. And so we're having this big race, and what do you know? We got 35 cars. So we're racing in memory of Jerry Berschauer for all he's done for Wenatchee. It's now become, with that name, Jerry Berschauer Memorial, has become a huge race.
Megan, can you pull up that slide, the WVSO slide? I wanted to show the image that we have here of the trophy that you guys put together. You can't see it really well there, but on the left-hand side of the screen is the Jerry Berschauer trophy. It's got an image of Jerry on there. That's awesome. I love that. How many years have you had this race called or named after Jerry?
This is the 4th year. So okay. Mike Knutson, he won the first one. Chad Holliday won the second race, and then Glenn Knutson won last year's. So, and then we also have the Wenatchee Legends Cup this weekend, presented by Shepherd's Oil. And we're that's become, this is the second year we've run concurrent with those two events the same weekend. And last year we had, I want to say, close to 30 cars. This year, going to have close to 25 cars. So it's become, both those events are iconic events for this weekend. And now they're kind of set there as always going to happen this weekend.
There's, for us that are going to cover the race this weekend here on NCW Live channel, I'm curious how you're going to run 100 laps with that many cars. Are we going to actually have that many cars in the final?
No, so what we do, we'll have qualifying. So at 5:30 is going to be really important to watch on NCW Live for the qualifying on Facebook Live. That's where we're going to make sure we show up, because the top 18 cars are locked in on time. Then what we'll do, depending on how many cars we end up with, if it's 35 or more, we'll run 2 B main events, 2 20-lap B main events. We'll transfer 3 cars from that, from each one of those into the main event. And then if we have under 35, we'll run a 30-lap race with the remaining cars, and 6 of those will transfer on. So only 24 will run the full main event. So.
Now, are you still offering up a manager's note there that you, Jeremy Anders, you could choose to put another car into the field?
You always had the promoter's option, and we've actually put some guidelines on it. It's a driver who's in the top 5 in points. So if you're in the top 5 in points, and you for some reason don't win it gives an opportunity to make sure that person who's battling for a points championship, because usually we don't have this many cars for a local show, and this is one of our local championships. So if you're in the top 5 in points and you don't make the show, we can add you to the back end of the pack.
Speaking of which, for the Pro Late Models this weekend, Jerry's Auto Supply Pro Late Models, would you say? What is it? 7 points separating the Quincy brothers. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, 70 points total can be hit for the night between qualifying and the race. So qualifying is going to be really important because, I mean, if you qualify 6 spots ahead of somebody, that you can make up those 8 points, really fast. And then the main event, you could go anywhere from getting 50 points for the win all the way down to 20 points if you finish like 24. So, you definitely want to do really well.
Also, points, speaking of which, you've got the junior late models, Mountain Dew junior late models. 10 points for Evan Getz in front of Haley Constance and Cade Moran. So the battle of the boy and the girls happening in that classification. And then only a point difference in your 3 top drivers in the Bandoleros. That's going to be determined this weekend too, right?
Yeah, and the Bandoleros, that one's really interesting because you have 3 drivers going for the championship, separated by, I think it's 210 to 208 points. It's just a crazy amount of what they're separated by right now. And so they have qualifying, heat races, and main events. So there's actually 80 points available there. So the spread could happen anywhere. It all matters on which heat race you draw, where you go out there. So it could be a lot of fun. And those are 8 to 14-year-old kids. And I know you've had fun watching this here. They're impressive. The racing action we've seen there has been really good.
Yeah, and my wife keeps pointing out when we go to do the interviews, which will be there again tonight to do some interviews. She's like, oh my gosh, they're so young. And she always goes over and talks to the moms about how do you handle it? Because there have been a couple of crashes this year.
Yeah, we had McKenna Winterberg-Lutz. She hit the wall really hard on qualifying that one day, which was a really scary situation. And lucky enough, she walked away and was okay and's been back in the car. They have a new car there. We've seen Allie Jones hit really bad there. We've seen a couple other drivers. I've seen him actually roll before, and that's the scary part there. Lucky enough, knock on wood, hopefully it's wood, that we haven't had any rollovers this year. But this weekend, we have a big field of cars. I think we're almost 12 cars right now. So, it's really fun to see these kids go. And these cars are pretty fast little cars. They don't sing by, but once they get the momentum going, they can cruise around there. So it's going to be really fun. But I do get a little more nervous when they're on the track, get to know quite a bit of them. And they're kids. You care about them, just as much as the other drivers, but you just know you have the extra heart in the drivers there. So, yeah.
Another classification that's running this weekend, Jeremy alluded to it, we've got the Legends there. This is their Wenatchee Cup. Shepherd's Oil is the sponsor of this particular race. These cars are fun to watch, even more fun, I guess, to drive.
Yeah, they're really equal, the weight to horsepower ratio that you have in a late model. So there's a lot of transition that happens from the Legends to that part. And actually, you'll see a lot of people progress. They'll go Bandoleros, Legends, and late models. And so they're a lot of fun to watch. They race them on a regular basis at Evergreen Speedway, South Sound, Hermiston, State Line Speedway, Meridian Speedway. Well, we always try to choose 2 weekends a year where they're not racing at any of those tracks, and we just throw one big shindig. And usually we have one of the higher car counts throughout the Northwest because of that. And they all say that Wenatchee is like the perfect track for these Legend cars. It's just the bullring shape, the grip. It's just a perfect combination altogether. So that helps quite a bit with the car count and people like racing them here. So they usually put some good racing. I will say that I didn't get to watch a whole lot of the last race because I was busy doing tech that night. But I was told the last race was super good, and I got to watch it later on. So I'm sure this weekend will be just as good.
Wenatchee Valley Super Oval, the site this weekend for the Jerry Berschauer Memorial 100 race with classifications in multiple fields. We've got the Plum Perfect Roadrunners, and we shouldn't not mention the Roadrunners because the series this year has been fantastic.
Yeah, we've had great racing all weekend long, all season long, and I know you just had the car counts up there for what cars were there. We've actually had some car counts increase from last night. I think all the divisions increased in their car counts from what we saw on there. So people are still registering and coming in, and I think we're close to 18 Roadrunners now. Wow. So the little 4-cylinder guys, they have a lot of fun. That's more of our stock 4-cylinder class, kind of the beginner class, but I mean, we've seen, I think, 4 different winners this year in that class. So when you have that many different winners, it's kind of showcasing that the track has a good variety.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see the youngster from Leavenworth, the young lady, Carlin Coker, she's second in point standings right now.
Yeah, just consistency being right there. That's what you got to do. And so she's done really well. We were talking about the last couple of races before even last race. The points leader each weekend has had some type of issue. It was Kyle Lar the first time he was the points leader, then he blew a motor and he was pretty much done, but they're actually back. They bought a new car, come back this weekend. John Doyle was the points leader, then he got in an incident and wrecked his car, so that car is actually done and sold.
Wow.
And so he's out of it. And so then Mason Haygood last weekend was the points leader going into a young 14-year-old from Quincy, and he actually blew, I think it was a head gasket or something like that, in practice, had to jump into somebody else's car to race for the weekend. So he still has the points lead right now going into it, but 2 races left. That points race could get really, really close.
Before we finish up the show this morning, I just wanted to ask you how you're doing, first of all. I know this has been a challenging year for us all, and the fact that you've been able to put these races together without any fans in the stands, I know that hurts the pocketbook, but how are you and how is the Super Oval?
It's been a tough year. We're operating. You think of it as a business. We get about 6 months to operate as a full business. We don't generate a whole lot of revenue in our off season. Our revenue we do generate is our season passes. Well, unfortunately, for next season, all the season passes from this year are going to get credited for next season. So we won't have that in our off season operations. Our sponsorships, we've been working with them about that. But you think about it as a business. We've gone from 15 races down to 7 races. We've gone from grandstands, concession sales, beer sales to none of that at all. Just our back gate sales. Well, we still have to pay purses to these racers, whatever. So it's tough. I can tell you that. We're operating our whole entire year off about 17% of what you normally would, which you tell me how many businesses out there could operate at 17%, and it's really tough to do. We're lucky enough we've been able to do what we can now. We're hoping that the off season we can have some good ideas, and hopefully more people will buy some season passes. That'll help get us through the part there. But it's tough. You still have all your regular bills you have to pay and operating expenses to go and do stuff like that. So we were able to get a little support here and there from some of the grant stuff, but that can only go so far. So we'll see. It's going to be a really tough off season. I can't thank the racers enough for supporting us. The sponsors who have supported us have been amazing. And we couldn't do it without the sponsors. Our partnership with you guys, a late night text turned into a pretty good partnership here with you guys. So, and really, I hope next year, we've talked about it too, and hopefully next year that the idea is maybe we'll choose 1 or 2, maybe 3 races throughout the year that we'll still have on In City Life next year once we have fans fight that. And people are liking it too. I mean, the coverage with you guys has been amazing. We're getting comments from people from Colorado, and I can tell you this weekend, we have people all over the country tuning in because this is one of the biggest races in the country this weekend is right here in Wenatchee. So, unfortunately, I think if we would have had fans this weekend, we'd probably be looking down a sold-out show. So that's the unfortunate thing. But you could look at there, just the car count there. It's amazing.
And we're up even from that.
So, we're up at least all 3 of the divisions are up. I know the Pro Late Models are close to 35 cars now. The Roadrunners 15, I think 17 now, and then the Legends up to 22. So we're seeing increases across the board with our car counts. So it's gonna be a fun weekend.
Well, Jeremy Anders joining us here this morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The race tomorrow, Jerry Berschauer Memorial 100 at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. We'll have live coverage on our Facebook page beginning at 5:30, and then live here on TV at 6 o'clock. You can join us on our website as well for the stream there at ncwlife.com. Of course, you can watch it right here on Local Tel Channel 12, on Charter Channel 19, Northland Channel 97 out in the Soap Lake area, or you can stream it live on our Facebook page, which a lot of folks choose to do that. Have a safe and sane weekend, everybody. Stay healthy. Happy birthday, Gracie. Have a great Friday, and we'll see you again Monday here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Have a great weekend, everybody.